Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello. We will wait for 2-3 more minutes. We are expecting
Good
more
afternoon, ma'am.
participants to join us. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for joining on time. We are expecting more people to join us. We'll begin in 2-3 more minutes. Meanwhile, if you want, you can read it yourself, settle down, start your camera if needed.
If you're comfortable, please turn on the camera. We would like to see you.
I think I can see a few faces. Okay, I think we can start with the feeling check-in. Tejaswini, how about that? Right? Okay,
Yes.
so everybody, again, we welcome you all in this NGN Learning's presentation. And just like students, we like to begin our workshops with a feeling check-in round. And a feeling check-in allows us to know about your emotions, how you're feeling. And so we'll be starting with that. You can use the chat box or unmute yourself and talk about your emotions and feelings. How are you feeling, guys? Tejaswini, you can also respond.
I'm feeling very happy, cheerful, and I'm excited to learn and also to know many new things in this webinar. How about you, Ekta? How are you feeling?
I am excited at the same time, looking forward to the session. As you have said, it's always enriching learning from so many teachers and counselors who join us. They give us many examples, and sometimes we get to learn unique activities from them that they are trying in their school or in their sessions. So I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so we have got a few responses. Um, Zaida is saying very excited to be here and learn new things. Dipali ma'am says curious to learn. Shreya ma'am is highlighting she's happy to be part of the webinar. And Manjala ma'am has shared a very beautiful smiley showing that she is happy. Okay. Okay, guys,
You can,
let's start. Yes,
you can also
Tejaswini. Yeah, yeah. People, you can unmute yourself and talk about it as well. Okay.
excited to learn. Happy, very excited to be here. Okay. Excited and curious.
Hmm.
Nice.
Okay, great. So I'll just share my screen. So all of you, as you have registered for the webinar, we'll be talking about preventive mental health care. Now, what is preventive mental health care? It's a very big and new terminology for all of us. So I would like to know from you, what do you understand by mental health care? What is your definition of it? You can write or you can unmute yourself and talk about it.
Hello. Welcome to NGN.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
First of all, it feels too good to be the part of the webinar. I think mental health means your emotional and your psychological well-being.
True. Yes, ma'am. Very rightly highlighted. And being normal. Okay. Now, we all know that, there is physical health. We talk about it. Similarly, we have our mental health. Mental health encompasses that in every situation we are able to cope up and we are resilient enough to, make better decisions in life. Challenges are there. It's not like, challenges are not there in the life of any child or any individual. However, how you cope up with that, it decides how your mental well-being is. Now, when we talk about preventive mental health care, preventive terminology is very unique. Why am I talking about it, and why we all are here talking about it? Because we see that whenever there's a situation, let's talk about how these days students are facing a lot of anxiety issues. There's a lot of bullying in school, teasing is there. So whenever there will be one issue, the teacher will become anxious. Okay, in my class bullying is happening, now I have to do something about it. Parent will become anxious. My child seems to be very worried. He or she is talking less these days. I need to take some firm decisions about it. Let me visit a counselor. Now, what is happening here? The problem is arising, and now we are thinking about a solution, and we are preparing ourselves. Okay, I need to do something, or I might need to seek help. But preventive mental health care means before the problem is existing, we are trying to provide children certain skills related to social emotional learning that would eventually help them to cope up with certain setbacks in life or situations that might affect their mental health. Okay? Did all of you understood what preventive mental health care is?
You can write yes.
You can show thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay, let me share the screen. So I'll just quickly brief you guys about what do we have when we talk about preventive mental health care platform. So NGL Learning actually is trying to provide school a proper infrastructure when it comes to social, emotional, ethical, and logical learning. National Education Policy 2020 actually talks about how social, emotional, and ethical learning is very much crucial for students when it comes to their mental health well-being. And it talks about that every school needs to have a proper curriculum and then infrastructure services, and there needs to be teachers training for that. So, in that consideration, we provide coursebook, workbooks, curriculum, lesson plan, teachers training, students assessment, and there are dedicated school counselors also that we provide to schools who are enrolling with us. There are individual intervention counseling sessions for students. Parents, teachers, and students also get to learn through workshops and training sessions. Okay. Um, Let's talk about certain issues that students are facing these days. I am not going to talk about it. You all are there. You have so many students. You have experience also. I would like all of you to highlight certain issues that students are facing these days related to their mental health care or emotional well-being.
Lack of concentration, behavioral
Yeah,
issues,
behavioral issues. Yes. Bullying.
bullying,
Yeah, bullying is there. Anger issues. Anger, anxiety, low self esteem, lack of confidence, lack of listening skills. They're not focused, lack of motivation. Student don't listen to the instructions and is in his own world. Yeah, they are in their own world, lack of concentration, not mindful, feeling
no,
lost. Okay, there are so many issues. Do you guys feel that somewhere down the line, classroom environment also plays a crucial role when it comes to the concentration, motivation of students? Okay, let me share my screen. So today, as I have said, we'll be talking about social emotional learning. Let's quickly look into what does social emotional learning means. Social skills allow people to understand their bonds and boundaries with family, friends, and society. Now, think about students. If they have better social skills and they encounter certain problems in life, what will their responses? They will share. They will talk about their emotions. They will seek out help. Other students, let's say if a student A is facing certain problem, student B will be able to empathize better. Emotional skills. So, emotional skills include understanding the feelings of others and understanding the feelings of themselves as well. Ethical decision making allows a person to gain a greater understanding of their values and morals during decision making process. Now, let's say you see that many of the time that students they take impulsive decisions. Sometimes it's very negative. They were angry and they hit somebody, or they wanted to escape out of a situation and they lie. So these kind of things happen, and that is why ethical decision making plays a crucial role. There's additional element which NGN learning talks about, which is logical thinking skills. Now I give all of you a situation. Let's say there's a girl in your classroom. She's very emotional, social aware also. She's emotional, socially aware, wants to have a lot of friends, and always agrees to whatever their friends are telling her. Let's say one of her friends says, um, how about if we bunk the class today? Okay. He's telling her, let's bunk the class today. And she's not having critical thinking skills. She's not having logical thinking skills. What do you think she will end up doing? What do you think?
She will bunk the class then, because
She will.
under peer pressure she will just give up.
Yeah, definitely. She would want to be in that circle. She would want the friends to be there, and there will be a guilt to say no, right? We all struggle sometimes to say no.
Yes.
Yes. Wrong decision she will take. Now, see, you have taught her in the class how to take better decisions. You have taught her how to say no to friends constructively. Okay. Now, what will happen? She has critical thinking skills also. She can think about good, bad consequences of the things. What do you think she's going to do?
Then
Definitely.
logically she can not bunk.
Yes, she won't bunk the class. She will very assertively say that I am not into this, and let's not do that. Right? And she will
Yes.
also take accountability, as Zaida ma'am is highlighting, take accountability of her actions and behavior. She would also think about, okay, I might lose this friend, but is this friend worth having? Like this kind of relationship I want to have, who is trying to negatively influence my life? Right? So that level of thinking will be there. Okay. So that is why logical thinking plays a crucial role when we talk about social emotional learning. We should not just see emotions in isolation, but teach children about thinking critically and logically. Okay, there are 9 skills when we talk about social, emotional, ethical, and logical learning skills. Universally, if you will see many of the organizations in US and Western countries and Singapore as well, they are using 5 skills only. However, we have additional 4. Considering the Indian context and scenario, we have added that. We have self-awareness, which talks about understanding yourself, understanding your emotions, understanding your likes, dislikes, strengths, and weaknesses. Self management, managing your emotions, managing your life, managing your time. Positive childhood. Positive childhood is a new edition. It talks about having growth mindset and resilience. It also talks about how to be a good sport. There will be so many students in your class, they are not ready to take initiative when it comes to sports, maybe public speaking, or going out and having making friends. They are not ready to take that first step, right? Have you encountered these kind of students? Okay, so now, yeah, so Shivani ma'am is saying yes, Kavita ma'am is also saying, Kavita ma'am is saying no. Ankita ma'am is saying yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Social awareness, which talks about understanding others, perspective taking. Now, what we have seen when we implement social emotional learning in schools, we have implemented social emotional learning in many schools in Mumbai. So, what we have seen that the classroom environment changes. The students who were not able to understand what their classmates were going through now able to empathize with, okay, my classmate seems to be upset. She's not talking to me from last 2 3 days. Seems like she's having a hard time. Let me talk to her. And if things won't work out, I will talk to ma'am as well. So now what has happened? They are giving importance to mental health well-being. Their empathy is increasing. Your classroom environment is also improving. You will see that the moment social emotional learning activities and classroom activities you'll start doing, students will have a better bond with you. So the students and teacher relationship improves a lot. Why? Because you're giving them that safe space to speak. So that is something we see when it comes to social awareness, social communication, how to be a good listener. Now somebody highlighted in the chat box as well that they are not listening, they're not ready to take instructions. So how to listen, how to speak. When I say speaking, that doesn't mean English communication skills, because that's how we are labeling children that if they are not able to speak English, they're not able to communicate. It's not like that. Be it Gujarati, be it Marathi, be it any language, if they are able to express themselves, they are good in social communication skills. Relationship skills. Relationship skills talks about forming relationships, making new friends, understanding them, conflict resolution, and coming out of negative peer pressure or negative relationships, saying no. It's very important. Cognitive skills. As I have said, critical thinking, logical thinking skills comes here. Problem solving, identifying small, big problem, trying to solve them through creative means, trying to solve problem by seeking help of others. Then we have responsible decision making, which I have already highlighted. So I will skip it for now. Why do you think social emotional learning? No, let me change the question a little. How about if I ask you, what do you think what will be the benefits of social emotional learning if you implement in your classroom? Highlight a few benefits that you think will be there if you implement social emotional learning.
Less emotional
Less
stress.
results and responses would be better. Very nice. Yes, ma'am. Even academic performance would increase. 25% of the times you'll see that students, their academic performance has increased because there is less anxiety in the classroom. There is less fear in the classroom. They have become more resilient. They will feel free to share everything. Very true. They can express their feelings without hesitation. Teaching will become more effective. Academics will come easily. Yes, true. You guys are aware about it. So we have 9% of the time there is decrease in conduct problems. Now let's say what are conduct problems. Many of the schools we visit for training sessions, we have our counselors there. What we see that the conduct issues are increasing. Students feel less empathetic and they indulge into a lot of risk taking behavior. There's decrease in emotional distress, improvement in attitude towards self, others, and school. 23% improvement in social emotional skills, 9% improvement in school and classroom behavior, 11% improvement in achievement when it comes to test scores. Now think, you are teaching them the same thing that you used to. However, you have made the entire classroom more social emotionally intelligent, and you can see the results now. Now, how to incorporate social emotional ethical learning principles in a formal and informal way of lesson planning. Now, let me just make you guys understand. Like the formal curriculum would be you have everything. You have books, you have textbooks, you have got training, you have got material in front of you. You know how to conduct activities. You have a counselor, you have assessment, you have question papers with you. You know everything is there in front of you. That is a formal curriculum. It is systematically designed, scientifically designed. Now, informal curriculum is, let's say you really want to help children out, but you do not have this opportunity to use a formal curriculum. Now, what strategies you can use in the classroom? So we'll talk about both of them. Okay. Formal lesson planning would include, let's say you have picture books about recognizing emotions. That's very funny. You know it. Many of the time, students, they don't know how to label their emotion. Even if they are angry, they'll say, I am sad. Anxiety, okay, I am sad. Even if they are worried, they are sad. So there is lack of vocabulary, and there are researches to prove that Indian students, they do not have proper vocabulary to label their emotion. So what we can do, we can have a lot of charts in front of them, make them recognize emotions, make them understand how to distinguish between what is sadness, what is anger, how anxiety looks like, how fear looks like. So making them understand that. Now, why it is important to make students understand labeling emotions? I can say I am sad, and then ma'am has asked me, Ekta, how are you feeling? I said, ma'am, I'm sad, but actually I'm anxious. Why it is important to teach them labeling emotions? Tejaswini, would you like to highlight?
Yes. So, okay. So when the students are able to identify the right emotions, then only they identify the core reason for that emotion, and we can actually, help them to handle that emotion in a better way. So it's very important to identify and differentiate between the emotions.
True, true. Let's say I went to Shreya ma'am and I said, ma'am, I'm very anxious. Now what will ma'am do? Anxious? अच्छा तो थोड़ा थोड़ा डर लग रहा है. Are you feeling afraid of something? Tell me a little more about it. किस चीज से डर लग रहा है? Are you afraid of exams? Okay, now the strategy would change. The way Shreya ma'am will talk to me, the strategy would change. She will also tell me the different techniques. Okay, you need to deep breathe, write down किस चीज से you're feeling anxious. Then let's think about the solutions, what we can do. And the moment I say I am feeling angry, her strategies would change, right? So that is why it is very important to label emotions correctly, not for just students but for us also. Now, we have games and physical activities like puzzles that would encourage teamwork, a lot of teamwork. Classroom rules and responsibilities, let's say safe space and positive environment. So you can have, when we talk about formal lesson planning in elementary level, we need to have classroom rules. You can have that in my class we are going to follow social emotional learning rules. What are those social emotional learning rules? Everybody will listen to everyone, nobody will say bad words to anyone. So you can have a list of rules, and the students who are trying to follow it, you can give them positive reinforcement, you can appreciate them so that other students are also learning. We have informal lesson planning in, okay, I think, yeah. So in informal lesson planning, what you can do is you can have morning meetings, circle time. Are you guys implementing circle time in your classroom if there are certain elementary level teachers are there? Do you have circle time in the
Yes,
school?
ma'am.
Yes. Yes, alrighty. So, circle time actually, they provide a lot of opportunity in terms of sharing emotions, talking about how you're feeling. It is also a good opportunity to teach children about sharing, turn taking, teaching them about different, moral and ethical values that you would like to inculcate through stories. You can have mindful breaks, like, everybody is doing something or the other activity, you can ask them, okay, everybody stop, and now we will be following one activity where we'll be taking deep breaths. So that you can do. Yes, definitely. As Diana ma'am has highlighted, it can be done in the morning and before the kids leaving the classroom. Artistic expressions and self-reflection can also be done. Now, how we can do that? How many times, we try to counsel children that you're not supposed to behave this way and this is the way you're supposed to do things correctly, but they do not understand it. Because we are not doing, we are not encouraging them to self-reflect. Let's say if I tell a child, her name is Preeti, I say, Preeti, you're not behaving properly these days, you're not using the good words, and this is not the way to behave. And next time if you will behave like that, I'm going to call your parents. This is one way. Another way is, you ask Preeti, Preeti, you use this word, what do you think about it? What am I doing? I'm trying to make her reflect. She will say, I used it. Do you think it's a good word or a bad word? Okay. What you're doing, you are not labeling. Like Neha ma'am is not labeling that she has used a bad word. She is just giving giving her opportunity to speak about it. She can say, ma'am, it was a bad word. How about if we learn good words, Preeti, that we can use with friends? And these are certain words you can use so that your friend is also feeling happy about it and you are also feeling happy about it. Okay, so that's how what you can do. You can promote a lot of self reflection, and circle time is the best time to do that. Middle school level, what we can do at middle school level when it comes to formal lesson planning, you can have a lot of discussion about characters, like let's say their motivations and feelings. Let's say you're teaching them through stories, so you can ask them, okay, this happened with that particular character, what do you think about it? Reflecting on that. Having role play scenarios when it comes to conflict resolution. Let's say you have a lot of bullying problem in your classroom, you see many of the students are indulging into it. You can create a list of situations. Let's say the situation one talks about, what do you think about bullying? Do you think bullying is good or bad? What do you think, what leads to bullying? If a student A is facing, problem when it comes to her classroom environment, and certain students are trying to tease her or bully her, how will you help that particular child? So those kind of reflective questions you can give them, and scenarios, and you can try to create a group discussion environment. Set personal and academic goals. You can have a list of personal and academic goals. Let's say one of the students says, ma'am, I want to learn how to speak better. So there, it needs to be there in front of them in the classroom, maybe in form of chart. Maybe there can be academic goal also. Ma'am, this time I scored 70%, but I am aiming for 80% next time. So that can be in front of them, and you can definitely ask them to reflect and reinforce them to achieve it. Ask them to reflect on what strategies are they using to, get there. So these kind of things can be implemented. Any questions and doubts, anyone so far? Okay. So informal lesson planning, what we can do, we can have periodic check-ins, like discuss their well-being, challenges, and success. Let's say once in a week, though you are having a feeling check-in every day, but once in a week you are having a feeling check-in about, okay, Aprajita, you told me about that you want to become a good swimmer, is there something you're doing about it? So that kind of reflection, and what will happen, they will also think about, oh my god, ma'am is giving me importance, and she remembers my goal. So your relationship will also improve with the child. Peer mentorship, so fostering a lot of responsibility. You can ask, you find one of the child in your classroom who is troubling you. This is a traditional Indian technique to deal with students who trouble their teachers a lot. Okay, and give that child responsibility. a lot of responsibilities, in the sense you ask them, okay, you're the monitor from now. Or maybe you have this particular child who is in need. Let's say there's a special needs children, so you can ask the child to take responsibility, in the sense you sit with him, make him understand the concepts. And what you're trying to do, you are trying to make that child contradict his behavior that he has been doing or she has been doing. Let's say if she bullies a lot, and now what you're trying to do, you're making her sit with a special need child. She requires to use her empathy and self reflection skills, perspective taking. So you're kind of stimulating that so that the child can come out of the negative behavior. Guys, by the way, my teachers have tried it on me, and that is why I'm telling you. I used to trouble them a lot. Okay. Encourage journaling. So, self awareness, very important. So, encourage journaling. How about if we do journaling right now? Every one of you talk about something that you have done in past few days that made you feel very nice about your own self. Let's say, I remember a few days back, I pampered myself a lot and I felt very nice. And I really liked that idea that I did that. I took out time for myself and I pampered myself. So that is something that makes me feel very nice. So something or the similar, you can write in the chat box that you did for yourself and it made you very good about yourself. Everyone can participate. Okay. I
Nice.
went to bought a few dresses for my birthday. Very, very nice. You need to buy it for yourself. Spend your money on yourself. Anybody else? Tejaswini, what about you?
Yeah.
Enrolled in the course, so excited to learn new things. Yay! Wonderful. Okay. Now, what we can do at high school level? Hmm. Okay, we have got one more response. Let me read it. Helped a special child in school and he has started doing well. In a few days, that makes me feel good. Yes, definitely. It's a very enriching and satisfactory experience because you feel nice that the child is getting helped and they are improving. Right. Okay, high school level, formal school, like formal lesson planning. What we can do, we can have discuss, college readiness. What are their goals about it? Which particular course they'll be enrolling. Integrate a lot of activities that include decision making. Now, teenagers, their hormones are playing with them a lot. They want to take risk. They want to enjoy their life. They don't want to listen to anybody and they just want to achieve everything. They want everyone's attention, but there are limitations. Their frontal lobe is not ready to take better decisions in life. They are not ready for a perspective taking. So you might say she's not able to understand me, but the chances are the child is not ready, biologically ready to understand you. So it's a kind of limitation that they face. What we can do, we can stimulate that through decision making activities, making them reflect on what will be the consequences so that they can try. Okay, if I indulge into substance abuse, what will happen? What will happen to my health? How will my family will get affected? What about my social circle? What kind of friends will I have? So those kind of things you can do. Identify biases and stereotypes. Let's say think about different academic or career goals that they have, and you'll find that sometimes some children They have a very limited thought process. Let's say girls, they only want to become a teacher or a doctor. Okay. Or they're not thinking about going in navy, or they're not thinking about going in, army. So those kind of things you will find. For boys also, you will find, they have limited career goals. So you can ask them different perspective. Also, you can show them different examples. Let's say there were a lot of fashion designers who are male. There are many good chefs, those who are male, and I think it's a male dominating marketing when it comes to chefs. So those kind of things you can tell them. Assign group projects that require leadership roles and a lot of leadership. So you can give them projects. Informal lesson planning can have community service projects like social responsibility. Ask them to do this week, we'll be doing act of kindness. Everybody is going to do one act of kindness and then they'll talk about it next week. So you can give them these kind of assignments. Sharing personal stories, very important. Students are in an impression that teachers are perfect. Principal ma'am is perfect. She's not having any issues in her family. She knows everything about academics. She has no emotional and mental health issues. And that's what creates a lot of barrier between you and the student, because he or she thinks that you're perfect. And when you talk about your failures and how you came out of it, how you came out of the challenges of life, then they empathize, they reflect, they learn from you, and they see, okay, I see ma'am very happy, but she also had certain problems in her life, so I can also come out of different situations. So you tell your stories. Debate and discussions can also help. Now over to you, Tejaswini. I'll just share the screen.
So it's about how to effectively implement our social, emotional, ethical learning principles in your school. So there are many techniques. So we cannot actually cover every technique here. So few important techniques we are discussing. So the first one is morning check-ins. So I think most of you must be doing it, right? So could you please tell me how you're doing it at your school? So like, is it only with the emojis, or like how are you practicing it in your school if you are practicing? You can write it in the chat box.
Can I also participate?
Yes.
I would also like to share. Okay, I'll write in the chat box.
Okay. Okay. So I asked my students to write about their emotions. Nice. Then
I
kindergarten.
promote journaling. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah,
we have
when they
got
come,
response.
many are sad, but when they see slides and balls, they become happy. Yeah. Okay, nice. So, when we start our day with mood check-ins, like how do you feel when somebody is asking you how you feel? And also, in a way, like, you are doing this with varieties. You can see here one example is there, like I'm feeling sunny, like I'm feeling cloudy, like I'm feeling rainy. So, like, it speaks about their emotions. When they start speaking about their emotions, and also when you inculcate so many vocabularies, of emotions, it is helpful for them to identify how they are feeling. Because most of the kids, they don't understand. They keep on going in that crying mode, especially when it comes to kindergarten students. They'll be crying and they see something, they get distracted, but again go back into the crying mode. So talking about their emotions. So beginning the day with mood check-ins, like, how are you feeling? And also you can go with colors. So like green says happy, pink says peaceful, or red says angry. So you can go with particular color and associated emotions. So you can ask the kids to name their emotions with colors, and also that gives them excitement. So this is a different way of expressing my emotions. So they go with this identification of emotion will also happen, and also they feel cared for. So we can use this morning check-ins every day. And the second one is modeling problem solving. So how many classrooms have you seen without any problem? I think no, zero, right? Every classrooms will definitely have one or the other problems. So here, when we are teaching this problem solving techniques, always we try to go with the real life scenarios. So what is happening, like in the classroom setting, or in the friendship zone, or with their parents? So what are the real life problems or scenarios comes into their life? So you can choose those kind of scenarios. Here we have one example. So challenging assignment. So you have given one assignment and you can imagine that child, so who is trying to solve the assignment, who is trying to do the assignment, not getting enough resources, not understanding what to do. So what they feel frustrated. So if you are doing a role play, so if you are giving a real life situation, this is how he is struggling and we need to help him. So how to particularly solve that particular challenge? Then we will teach them step-by-step method to solve the problems. So this is how they will learn. Okay, so ma'am told me this could be the steps. So I am going to follow this. So when they face challenges, they will go through these steps. And role play is amazing when you start inculcating this SEEL principles. So if you are teaching some skills, definitely you have to do the role plays in the classroom or maybe in the circle time. So try to do this role play techniques. So when they do the role play, they will try to act it out. They will bring it. Okay, so maybe 1, 2 times they will do it as fake, and when they really face this situation, that will naturally come in their personality. So they will start to solve that particular problem. They will start to do that particular activity in a desired way. So here one example is given. So if one person is being excluded or included from a group activity, how that person will feel. So you can see this groupism in your school, I guess. A lot of students will be there. Suddenly they will leave out one of the child and that child will be crying. So having role play will make them understand, empathize how that person must be feeling, what I should do, what I should not be doing. So like, here the expression of emotions and how to resolve the conflict, everything can be worked upon together in one role play situation. So always we insist all the teachers to conduct this role play. Yeah. So the next one is safe space. So do you all have safe space in your school? We always insist people, especially teachers, to have comfort zone or calm zone or safe zone in their school. So why do you think it is important? Ekta, would you like to?
Because, yeah, definitely. I think there are times, when we want to just sit with our emotions. I have seen many a times when I am angry or I am sad, people will come, no, 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 cheer up, come out of this. You really need to, motivate yourself and resolve this as soon as possible. But sometimes there is no hurry about it. You need to let the child sit with the emotions, give that child time, and explore different strategies. As you can see, there are different situation cards and emotions cards are given. So, students can take their own time, and then you can go when the student is a little better. You can talk about the emotion that the child is going through. So, what you're giving the child importance. You're giving that particular emotion importance, which is very much necessary.
Yeah. So after they come out of this safe space, they feel more comfortable. They will be more comfortable with their own personality, own self. So that is what we have observed. So if we are forcing, as you said, Ekta, like if we keep forcing these kids, okay, it's okay, like it's normal. You have to get up, cheer up. So come, do this. So they'll be crying, but again controlling, trying to smile. So this is really like, we feel really bad.
Repress. They
Yeah,
repress it. Yeah.
repress that particular emotions, right? So having this safe space is really important, having the calm zone where they can relax, they can give certain time to their own emotions. Then reflective practices. Already Ekta discussed about this reflection. So what we can do here, we can ask them to maintain weekly journaling. So like, what are the positive experience you had in the whole week? So what about the difficult situation that you faced in this week, and how did you manage? So having these questions will help them to reflect back what happened. So what was the most difficult time? And I was able to manage it. So it is going to boost their self-confidence as well. And also they will be looking, yeah, there are many beautiful moments. I had so much of good moments last week. Yeah, my life is really good. So that also will be possible. So like, can we ask this question to our participants, Ekta? So what,
Yes, yes, definitely.
yeah, so can you reflect and tell me your positive experience that you had in this week? Any positive experience that you had? You can write. Otherwise, you can also, answer me the second part of this statement, that is how you managed the challenge that you faced this week. So what about you, Ekta? What was the positive experience you had this week?
I would like to talk about the other half of it. Like I had an argument with my sister today itself, and it was very hard because she's very close to me. So I decided that how can I come out of it. So I reflected on the last time when I had argument with her, and it also we resolved it and things became better. So I was trying to look at from that perspective, and I tried to reflect on where I can improve when it comes to my communication, and that's how I coped up from that particular issue that I had.
Wonderful, wonderful. How about others? Writing any positive experience you had? You can also write about the appreciation that you got. Otherwise, something new you did and that made you feel good.
I think let's give them time. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So the next one is mindfulness practices. So, like having mindfulness exercises practiced at school is very important. So when they start practicing mindfulness, this is going to help them manage their emotions better, so they can see the reality in a better way than being clouded with the emotions. So always having these mindful exercises, like as simple as butterfly breathing or five finger breathing or square breathing. So there are many varieties that we can have. So we can ask them to do these practices on daily basis, or like even weekly once also we can conduct. Then guided meditation. So because they're young children, definitely they get distracted very quickly. Guided meditation will help them. So like telling them to close their eyes, relax their muscles. So this will help. So we can go age appropriate applications also. Like we can use different applications which is age appropriate for very young children. Like they have really low duration of sitting calm and do the meditation. But when you're going to the higher grades, so they can sit for a long time. So go up age appropriate, go with the age appropriate meditation apps and all. Yeah, we have got a few responses in the chat box. I attended a family wedding and met everyone after a long time. It was a very good experience. Yeah. Okay, nice. Then I cooked a different dish for my child at home that he liked it. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay. So the next method is collaborative problem solving. So here, what we can do, like how togetherly as a group we can solve the problem. So we are working on this. So here we can give some projects and we can let them to complete the project. And we have to make it very clear that a group participation, everybody's participation is really important. So the communication must happen in a proper way. So it should not be like one person is doing everything and others are excluded. So equal participation is important, and you in a group are going to solve the problem. So here the collaborative problem solving will work, and they will try to understand the perspective of others. So he is thinking in that way. So her way of looking at the problem is different. So these are the different varieties. They will be able to look at the problem in different angles. So when they can look at the problems in different angles, they will also be coming up with different solutions. So this will enrich their mind with problem solving strategies. Then integration into our curriculum. So whatever the subjects we are teaching, try to have the glimpse of social emotional skills in that particular subject. So for example, if you're teaching literature or if you're teaching science, so try to bring that, how, like, for example, you're teaching about cutting a tree. So what do you think the tree must be feeling? So what do you think, the other poor person, like who is hungry, he must be feeling? So try to bring this essence in that general subject as well. So inculcating or, including this SEAL subject in all the other subjects, it's also important. So like you can actually help them to, brainstorm particular SEAL subject while taking the other subjects. So actually, whatever we do, like consistency and reinforcement is really important. So social emotional learning should not be a one-time occurrence. So today you teach something and this is done. No, it's not happening that way. It is going to be continuing for the lifetime. So they have to have it in their personality. So they have to have empathy in their personality. So it must be continuous. It should not be like one chapter, it's done. Like I gave them knowledge and I'm not going to repeat. No, it must be like continuous. So we have to have the consistency, and it must come in the classroom culture. So we are not going to be rude to anybody. So we are going to help the other person when he is in need. So we are going to work in group. We are not going to exclude one person. So we are going to bring this classroom culture, and then regularly revisit classroom expectation on empathy, kindness, and cooperation. So these are the basement of SEAL skills. So always we have to have this, we have to revisit these expectation. Okay, were you kind? Why you like something happened and students will come with some issues. So try to remind them. So tell me, are you kind? Are you cooperating with me? So ask these questions. So there you will trigger those areas. You will be stimulating those areas of their brain. Yes, I could have been more kind. I could have been cooperative in this situation. So I must be empathizing this person. Then acknowledge and celebrate instances of positive social and emotional behaviors. Always somebody is doing, following, like, acknowledge, yeah, you have done this. You have shown empathy. Very good. You are so kind. Excellent. Keep practicing it. And in group activity, there is a lot of cooperation between these guys. Appreciate them. So that's, very important. That motivates the students to have these SEAL skills in their personality. Yeah. So, Ekta? Yes.
Yeah. So when we talk about what techniques we can use, I think we have highlighted a lot of them. There are, let's say for self-awareness, you can try drawing and journaling is the best technique, is the one. To when we talk about managing emotions, you can teach them how to express their emotions, and how you can do that through storytelling. You can teach them about how one of the animal character tried to cope up with the fear that it had. So you can use a lot of storytelling when it comes to managing emotions. You can teach them empathy by different perspective taking and role plays and the different activities that Tejaswini has also highlighted. You can also teach them games of knowing each other, like Connect Quest is there, where children can share information about themselves, fostering a sense of connection and understanding among peers. Like, let's say you can talk about, okay, tell everybody about your family. So they can talk about, I have a family, and in that all members are there, and one of the family you'll find that only a single parent is there. So other students will also empathize. Okay, we find this child very rude and she shares very less, speaks very less, but the chances are because of her family situations it is happening. So the more they will share in the classroom environment, the more empathy, cooperation will be fostered. Give collective task. Always give them things or activities that will encourage a lot of cooperation and teamwork. It will also help them to understand each other's limitations. They will also learn that not everybody is perfect. What we can do our best to complement other person so that one work can be completed. Resolving conflicts independently. At the same time, we talk about cooperation, we talk about teamwork. At the same time, help them to take decisions, help them to take resolve conflicts by reflection and make independent choices. Yes, so, kindergarten Rana is writing teachers should infuse positive attitude towards life and encourage them to be a good citizen. Yes, very, very important. Social development activities you can have sharing with others. Now, we talk about sharing. Is it just sharing materialistic things? I have a pen, you want a pen, take my pen, sharing done. It's also about sharing emotions. It's also about sharing each other's limitations and talking about it, helping each others to cope up with difficult times. That is also sharing. So teaching children about these non-materialistic things that are supposed to be shared. Ability to coordinate with others, to help them, give them scenarios, encourage them to participate in debates, encourage a lot of debates where they're sharing difference of opinions. And you have ground rules. The ground rules are nobody will yell, nobody will feel angry, nobody will use bad words, people will try to empathize. And what you're doing, you're promoting a lot of teamwork, and you're making them good sport, that even if you lose, you need to take it very confidently. At least you participated. So that these kind of things you need to promote, working together as a team. uh, A few students are not gelling up together very well, give them a project together. If they are fighting a lot, ask them to do this project together, and so that they can learn about each other and they can know more about each other's personality. When it comes to relationships with family members, very very important. Most of the time you'll see the child is bringing a lot of emotions from home. It's not something which is happening in the classroom. Often it happens in the classroom, but a lot of times it is they're bringing something from home. So what you can do, you can ask the parent that you need to spend a little more time with your child. Give a child assignment that would promote a lot of interaction with family members. Let's say father, mother, understanding their perspective, understanding their grandparents' perspective, and then we have need for food and water. Like, what is that need for food and water? It actually talks about this is an activity which incorporates discussion about need for food and water for different age groups, animals and birds. Use visual aids and props for better understanding. Now what you are doing, you are making them understand that how everybody have their one need which is common for everyone, though we are different. So you're teaching them a lot of sharing, you're teaching them about empathy, you're teaching them about unity, which is very important. Okay. So that's it for today. I think we have covered a lot of things. We have talked about preventive mental health care services. If anybody has any doubt regarding the services that we provide or regarding the things that we have shared in the section, you can definitely ask us. We are happy to answer. You can also share your feedbacks. Okay, so everyone, thank you for joining us. It was lovely to have you all. I know some of you must be very busy and you took out time from your busy schedule for us and you used your chat box to answer us. We were asking a lot of questions. We appreciate that. Moving and we look forward to have you in other workshops and webinars. We'll be ending the session for today. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out through WhatsApp. We'll be sharing all the certificates with you within 10 to 15 days. You'll be notified about the same as well. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a very
Thank you.
knowledgeable session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dipali ma'am. It was nice to have you.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
everyone.
ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Okay.